Welcome to Love to See It, a podcast about one man's deep spiritual need to hear women say they're falling for him and to respond likewise.
He's so deep, that Mel Owens. He's already on the precipice of hometowns, and it's starting to get real for the women.
Yeah, it's very real for them. They are in it up to their necks. Today, we are digging into episode 4 of Golden Bachelor, and this is like the most I can't believe it's almost hometowns episode out of all of the I can't believe it's almost hometowns
I
episodes.
know truly what is happening. How did we get here? I know that they're trying to tell us this is technically episode 5 because it was sort of a double episode week 1, but no, I'm sorry. It's
Yeah.
been 4 weeks of us watching this show, and
Yeah.
they're already going to hometowns. I
My
don't know these women, and I certainly don't know Mel.
My body keeps the score. Like, my body knows it's been 4 weeks, okay? You can't try to tell me that we're 5 weeks into this. Before we get started, a little housekeeping. Remember to check out our recaps of season 9 of Love is Blind on the Love to See It feed. It's been a season. There's been just, like, a lot going on, so we've got some real in-depth recaps of all of the drama.
Some rancid gender politics, and some incredible guests. We had Allison Roman on, we had Jove Meyer on. It's just been a lot of fun to cover.
And also over on Rich Text, we put out an episode about the life of a showgirl, Taylor Swift's new album last week. And this week, we will have coming an episode exploring our love of Diane Keaton. In a little tribute episode, we're going to watch the 1987 movie Baby Boom. I think it's the first time both of us have seen it, and it was like, a sort of bittersweet to have a reason to finally watch it. And so you can find those episodes and more at claireandemma.substack.com.
Okay, let's get into Golden Bachelor. And we do have a cold open, and it is yet again underwhelming. We see and hear some very sexy or possibly distressed noises. We hear an I've never done this before as we are watching bees pollinate flowers.
Yeah, someone has never pollinated flowers before. That's clear.
Who, me?
Yeah. And all of a sudden, we see Cheryl screaming, "Ooh, that's cold," as she is forced to lower herself into a cold plunge tub full of ice. And Mel is assuring her it's going to bring clarity, and she seems suspicious of this, reasonably.
Cut to Peg on unicycle, riding around the mansion. Truly, what can't this woman do? And we are reminded there are only 6 ladies left.
Yeah. The Peg thing is getting kind of funny. It's like she came equipped with a bunch of different props so that she could entertain everyone. She's like, "What are we up to today, ladies? How about unicycling around the pool? Hey, I can juggle while I'm doing it also." I'm sure she could.
I believe it.
They're so lucky to have her because we know they can't watch TV. So they have Peg.
They have to watch Peg,
They-
and that's a delight.
They're lucky to get to do that. Like, they pay people to do halftime shows at college basketball games that are not as entertaining as Peg. So Carol and Cindy are the only women left who haven't had any kind of one-on-one. Like Nicolle kind of had that sort of, she won the extra time on a date and had a private dinner. And Carol and Cindy are confiding in each other about this. And Carol tells Cindy that if she doesn't get one this week, she doesn't feel like she'll be ready for a hometown. And Cindy tries to reassure her, like, "Oh, but you two are on an accelerated timeline. I really see you connecting." And Carol's just like, "No, I need it. I don't see it for me."
Yeah, Carol, you are correct. Jesse arrives to let the women know that only 3 of them will be getting hometowns. And there will be 2 dates this week, an intimate group date with all of them except for one, and a magical one-on-one. No roses will be handed out. Mel can't stand that kind of pressure.
I know.
You need to save him all for the rose
Well,
ceremony.
it's sort of that they're like, Mel has said he doesn't want to hand out a rose on these dates. And I'm like, I think they typically do that this week because like, it's common. It's not like a Mel specific thing. They don't do it every season, but it's certainly not like the first time that's been done because then there's only like one rose left to hand out at the rose ceremony.
Right. It's a little easier to hand out a rose when you have 4 hometowns, but when there's only
Right.
3, you kind of got to
Yeah.
save it for the rose ceremony.
Yeah. And so he leaves them with the group date card. Peg, Debbie, Cheryl, Nicolle, and Carol. I'm looking for my soulmate. Cindy immediately weeps with joy. She's finally getting her one-on-one. And I mean, watching the season unfold, you kind of had to assume it was going to be Cindy that he was
Yeah.
saving this one-on-one for. But Carol is disappointed. She knows time is running out, and like she must just have the wisdom here to understand that if he didn't prioritize giving her a one-on-one, it's just not her. Like her husband would prioritize giving her a one-on-one,
I
right?
think Carol is resigned. She's like, really, what have I done with this guy? Had half a conversation? Uh,
He
it
knows
might be my moment
he
to
knows who
exit.
my nephew is, like, and since he knows who my nephew is, he knows maybe 50% of who I am, but there's a whole other side to Carol, right? So Mel greets the women on Butterfly Mountain, which he says is a very spiritual place. We're seeing so many like nooks and crannies of LA this season
I
because they're not
know.
traveling. Like it often when you're kind of doing the bachelor period in LA, it's just the same basic like we do like an adrenaline date or like go to a Rams like whatever and then a rooftop bar and they're like let's hit all of the tourist spots this
Yeah, they're like
season.
Griffith Observatory. Like,
Yeah.
we're going for it. The beautiful city of Los Angeles. I also was shocked to learn that Mel is a very spiritual person, according to Mel.
And he thinks the women are also very spiritual, which, you know, makes sense because he likes them and he's spiritual. So there you go. He needs to find that alignment so he can determine whose hometown to visit.
Ah, yes, the alignment.
They need to be aligned. And I mean, we knew this was kinda coming. We had hints of this, but this date is such like a grab bag of various spiritual new age activities. It's kind of like the Urban Outfitters, like, table near the checkout of shaman date
Yes.
activities. It's like, here we have a stage bundle, we've got one of those, like, little boxes of crystals and a cute package, like, whatever you need for a spiritual moment in
Take a
your
tarot card, take a Palo Santo. We've
Exactly.
got it all.
And Mel tells the women that he wants to see how their energies align because for him, spirituality and connection have always gone hand in hand. We're just learning so much about Mel for the very first time. He introduces them to Shaman Danny, and someone, you can hear one of the women going like, "Yay, shaman! You go, shaman!
Yay!
Yay!" What is happening? Shaman Danny has fuchsia hair and a Barbie pink dress, and she's on The Golden Bachelor. So you kind of know she's a sort of like celeb adjacent shaman. I did Google and I found her at the website Your Sacred Destiny
Of course.
dot com. yoursacreddestiny.com. She writes that she studied with the shamans of Peru and she has
All of
since
them.
yes. And since then, she has been the resident shaman at 3 number 1 resorts. Not just resorts, but resorts that were number 1 in some way.
on
So
on a list somewhere. They
so
were number one.
so she's ready to take them on a shamanistic journey, and the camera's, like, lingering on Buddha statues. Like, it's just, like, kind of this, like, mishmash of we're doing spiritualism that has been, like, appropriated from various cultures and given this sort of palatable, consumerist gloss for the
Yeah,
white
diluted of like
primarily white
any
audience.
any true tradition or cultural specificity.
Yeah, classic bachelor date. They start as a group by writing down an emotion that they want to let go of on a piece of Palo Santo. Both Peg and Carol write unworthy. Like
Oh.
the women have been through it, right? They've been left with a lot of painful feelings from their various divorces, like being cheated on, never getting married. Mel writes friction. He, wa-
This sent me.
he wants to get rid of friction.
No friction. Life should be frictionless. I just want to like slip, slide around, have fun. It reminds me of like an episode of Magic School Bus
Yes.
where we learn about friction and you see the kids like get tiny and they're just like slipping around
Yeah.
they're like, oh, this is what the world would be like if there was no friction.
Yeah, Mel's dream is like life should be a slip and slide. Life should be a water park. I'm hurtling through the slippery tunnels of life.
This is the
Nothing's slowing me
most
down.
Mel middle-aged man answer one
I
could
know.
ever imagine.
I was like, this is incredible because it's so honest. Like, it's not, and it's honest in this way where it's like, I think maybe you haven't looked really deeply. He's clear that he's uncomfortable, kind of like really thinking about the pain of his divorce. And he always wants to move quickly past it. So maybe there is a deeper, honest thing he could say. But I'm like, no, this seems very honest. It's not like a palatable answer in certain ways. It's like, I just want everything to be easy for me.
Yeah.
Like,
He's like, no, I don't want to have to think about the deep pain of my divorce.
right.
I want zero friction. That feels like friction.
Yeah, this
Doesn't
feels
feel
like
very easy to confront my deep emotional pain.
this feels like the cleansing ritual equivalent of going into a job interview and saying my biggest flaw as a worker is that I'm lazy, you know? Like it's like don't say that. Like it might be true, but it sounds bad. Like sometimes friction is good, Mel. Like sometimes friction,
It's
you know,
necessary.
is necessary. Sometimes you can't even feel anything without a little friction, you know, if you got what I'm saying. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like, I think you want a little bit of friction in your life. And so after this, the women each get the intimate part of the intimate group date. They each get like a one-on-one sort of ritual or moment together. Starting with Peg and Mel, and they get one of the good ones. They get a warm mud bath. The weird part about it is that it is overseen by Shaman Danny, who's like looming over them.
While they write love in the mud on each other's chests.
Right.
And
They're like,
Danny's just like, yes.
very good.
yes, beautiful.
And they talk about going to Vegas for Peg's hometown. And he's like, great, I want to go to Vegas. Mel, you know, it's tough. You know, I think that he wants to show, not go into every one of these conversations and be like, maybe I'll go to your hometown. But he does end up kind of saying to each of them, like, I'm really
Can't
excited
wait.
to go to your hometown. That's going to be wonderful. Mel tells us Peg is a live wire and he closely aligns with her energy, electricity, and chemistry.
All three, baby.
Mm. Meanwhile, the other women are talking about the future. And in her in the moment, Nicolle is feeling confident. She's like, I think I'm in focus for Mel right now. And I'm picking up on some nervous and insecure energy, like from the others, basically. She says, quote, I'm just really sensitive to negative energy, but I know that will be filtered out soon with the next rose ceremony.
Nicolle is wild.
This is, first of all, I'm really sensitive to negative energy lady is like the most annoying type of lady. It's like, oh, are you? No, I love negative energy, actually. Like, I'm just like a coarse person who doesn't care about oh,
The
yeah,
most
no, you're very
negative energy I'm getting is from Nicolle.
right. It's always the person who is putting out the most negative energy. And then to be like, that will be filtered out with the next rose ceremony. Like there's going to be a culling of negative energy, meaning other women. They're going to be removed from the pool.
Mostly Debbie is what we
Mostly
are
Debbie.
led to believe from the way that this is edited.
Right. Because it's intercut with Debbie sort of being like, you know, normally at this stage, like I wouldn't be sitting here with all these other people dating this man and clearly kind of talking about her anxieties with the process. And Nicolle is like, yeah, well, this is all going to be filtered out soon. Cheryl is hoping to bond with Mel spiritually, but instead, sadly, she'll be in full fight or flight mode because they have booked her for an ice bath. And
Rough.
she does not want to get in the ice bath. Like, she looks pissed when she sees it.
She's not a fan of Wim Hof, okay? She doesn't need a cold plunge.
The ice bath, like the Wim Hof ice bath, like philosophy has permeated reality TV so profound. I mean, it makes sense because it is a challenge that is very unpleasant, that is also meant to have all these sort of like head clearing benefits. So you get the adrenaline date aspect, you get the challenge, like who's going to do it best aspect, you get the like maybe this will connect you with someone aspect. But it always just, like, makes me feel so bad for them. Like, I'm like, "Oh, I know what it feels like to get in freezing cold water, and I don't want that for you."
It is not enjoyable, but Cheryl does get in eventually, briefly.
Yeah. I mean, she's like, "I really don't wanna do this." She's touching it. She's like, "It feels like the Colorado mountains in winter." And, like, clearly she's not going into the Colorado mountains in winter naked, right? So, but Mel, and this is also a common thread on reality TV, is that at least one of the people involved is a longtime pro athlete. And Mel is, like, clearly unruffled by the ice bath. He's probably done thousands of ice
He
baths.
knows. He knows that it leads to clarity.
Yeah. That's your body going into shock, Mel. Like, your body is like, "Ah!"
He's like, that's the friction leaving the body, released as it should be. Thank you, Wim Hof.
And Cheryl does love that he is reassuring her and encouraging her to get in. He's like, "It will get warmer." Like, just pro athlete men on these shows gently coaxing their non-pro athlete female partners to get into ice baths is now like a trope of the Bachelor franchise. And afterwards, she's like, "It did kind of clear my mind actually to sit in the cold water. And now I can share my feelings with Mel." And so she tells him that she's developed true feelings for him and she's falling in love with him. And Mel offers that classic Mel response: "You know, I had a connection with you the first date, and they haven't gone away."
Who is they? What is they? When did it become plural? We don't know.
She and the connection haven't gone away.
Yeah, he's like, you are physically still here. And in a way, we are connecting because we are
Yeah.
sitting next to each other.
This is the kiss of death. Like, he's saying since the first date, our relationship has not progressed. It's not gone away, but I can't say that it's gotten like, if he could say it's only grown, he would say that, presumably.
In this moment, I knew. Poor
Yeah.
Cheryl.
Poor Cheryl. She tells him that she can't wait to bring him to Colorado. He would go to her brother's house, he'd meet her family, and Mel's like, "Great." In voiceover, he says that Cheryl is loving and caring. "I'm pretty lucky." And again, kiss of death. Like, he doesn't have, she was the first date. He doesn't have anything stronger to say about his feelings for her at this point. It's over.
It just petered out. On that note, we're going to take a quick break. And when we get back, the rest of this group date, including a little tantric yoga.
And we're back. And as promised, it's time for the tantric yoga. And Debbie is doing tantric yoga with Mel, led by shaman Danny, of course.
Of course.
This is like handpicked for Debbie. She's like probably very comfortable doing various poses with and without a partner. And Danny starts them with a pose that is about the divine union of the masculine and the feminine.
I cannot hear one more conversation about the feminine on reality television.
This is the thing. I'm like, I know this is like a specific tantric yoga concept, but
the problem is it's triggering.
Yes, I was gonna say I'm so triggered by those words at this point. I mean, we need to put a full stop on those words until we figure out what the hell is going on in our political system. Debbie, however, is thrilled. She's like, "What better way to know if our connection is pure than to be straddling this man and just be connecting through our eyes and our hearts?"
Purity. That's purity right there.
The purity through straddling.
I love it. You know what? I think the churches should really look into this.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, the churches should take on the purity of straddling. They should start acknowledging the purity of straddling. And afterwards, she's like, "I hope he felt what I felt." And it's always impossible to tell if Mel is feeling anything at all. But Debbie, you can tell, is feeling things. She seems like really flushed with happiness and like giddy. They're doing poses, they're kissing in between the poses. And Mel is just kind of like there, impassive, participating. Like, what is he feeling? It's hard to say. Afterwards, they talk, and Debbie tells Mel she hasn't been in love for 14 years, and she can't tell him how much it would mean to her to have him meet her sister and her sister's husband. It would mean the world. She's really like, "I want you there It would mean everything to me. And she says, I'm really falling in love with you. And Mel says, since we started and I met you, it's so easy to be with you, and I would love to meet your family. What are we taking away from this response?
He's into her.
That's about as strong as it gets, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly stronger than Cheryl. I'm grading on a curve.
Yeah. He's like, I'd love to meet your family. Let's do it. I'm looking to the future. Nicolle is next. And he, in his voiceover, is like, Nicolle is one of my favorites because she brought me the lemon bars.
Wow.
We're going to stop and have a long conversation about this comment now.
Stolen valor.
First of all, stolen valor. Like, she didn't make him the lemon bars. She did bring him the lemon bars. She brought them over to him from where the other women had put them.
Yeah, he's like, thank you for that Tupperware you physically brought over to me. You're my favorite.
Secondly, this is just like I'm sorry. I've never seen someone be so one-to-one. Like, she made me food, and so she is now one of my favorite women to potentially marry. Like,
also, it's not even really true because he doesn't select her for his top 3. He's like, she's one of my favorites in as much as all 6 of these women are my 6 favorites.
I do think that maybe this date is what does her in. Like, I think she might have gone to top 3 if she had handled this date differently.
That's true.
Maybe not. But to me, this brought to mind that trope of like, your dad, your mom passes away. Your dad is like 65, 70. And all of a sudden, all of the church ladies are showing up with like casseroles and food. And it's like, oh, they're trying to lock him down. He's available now. Like
and
that.
Now we see how it works.
Right. It literally works. He's literally like the one who brought me lemon bars. Maybe I should marry her because she brought me lemon bars. Like, I'm just kind of looking for just a woman who's around who's going to make me lemon bars.
Well, Claire, he's not marrying any of these women. Please.
No, he's not marrying any of them. But just like to put that equation into such plain terms is something I've never, like, people will always want to talk about, like, it's really about connection. Like, I love her spirit, like the way that I feel when I'm with her.
It's about the lemon bars.
Yeah, it's about how she made me a treat. Like, to me, that tangibly moved her up several spots in the rankings because that is what I'm looking for in a wife, really, is someone who will make me little treats.
Mel really is so honest sometimes.
Yeah, he's like, the weight of my heart is literally through my stomach. Who is going to make me the most treats? I will marry them. I won't, but like, I will get closer to marrying them. So he's like, ladies keep making me treats. The more treats you bring, the higher chance I might marry you. Like,
so they get a tarot reading from Shaman Danny. Obviously, Shaman Danny's doing so much.
She keeps like they keep going to different locations, and suddenly Shaman Danny is
She's there.
Yeah. I'm just envisioning her like running from location to location on Butterfly Mountain. And she gives them this couple's tarot reading. They pick a card together, and it's the witness card. And she says that the witness simply observes without taking action, and she asks what it represents to each of them. And Nicolle says probably a fear of not being stable, which I don't know what that means.
I don't understand at all.
Yeah. I was like, do you mean like that you're not taking the right actions to make yourself stable?
I feel that fundamentally misunderstands witnessing.
Yeah, I don't know what that
I don't
means.
understand the connection unless we really missed something.
Maybe she is observing whether Mel can bring her stability financially, which does seem like it's a big priority later in this conversation. And then Shaman Danny asks Mel what it means to him, and he says, stress is always a good thing to clear, which is an equally non sequitur answer.
Did we miss a huge part of this conversation?
Like, I think because Nicolle mentioned stress in her response, like the anxiety and stress of being not stable.
He's just like, stress is a good thing to not have. Yes.
Right. That's not about the witness card. It's interesting because later he references the witness card quite
I know.
specifically.
That's why I'm confused and wondering if we missed a large part of the conversation. Maybe not.
I'm sure we did. I'm sure we missed a lot of it. But this was a very confusing reading. And they do a sage cleansing to clear, I guess, the stress and fear of not being stable, which I don't think Mel has. I think he's like obviously wealthy and stable. But but Nicolle has it. And afterwards, they sit to chat. And Mel has said, like, this is maybe kind of the first hint we've had that he's not so sure about their connection. He says at the beginning of their time that he has questions for her that go deeper than superficial things. And he clearly feels like they haven't gotten to those, even though they had that dinner where they, in theory, talked about their lives before and all these things. And so they sit down and he asks, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Mel's
This
hiring.
is a job interview. Manager Mel has arrived for the final interview. We have a clip.
My dad is kind of my accountant, and he takes care of my finances and stuff. And he says sometimes, well, you could have a little more income coming in, Nick. I work on my Instagram and working on monetizing that. Actually, what I would really like to do is author a cookbook of plant-based recipes, because I have so many, and that's what I focus my Instagram on.
One of the words today was to witness. I do a lot of observing, and through my observations, I have questions. There's a few things in the conversation that just gave me pause.
We give him a kiss just for the camera, just one little one. Thank you. That meant a lot.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
This could have been what Robin was talking about.
You think, Mel? You think
What?
it's what Robin was talking about? Yeah, you got there, buddy.
I love when she's like starting to be like, I really want to monetize my Instagram more. And the ominous music starts to play. Like she's like Pennywise coming out of the gutter.
Like, in one respect, I do have to really hand it to Nicolle that she is not being dishonest.
She is being so honest. Like, I really, in a sense, I do want to hand it to her on that. It's not wrong to want to be an influencer. Many
It's
people
not wrong
do,
to
and they
have
don't.
so many plant-based recipes that you could fill a cookbook.
It's not wrong. I think it's hard to know because we didn't see this whole conversation. But I have to assume, and you should assume if you're the lead, that you should be suspicious of anyone who is like very focused on building a career that would benefit a lot from tons of positive exposure on a TV show, because there's a very obvious other motive they might have. Most people have that motive now, but you still might want to be aware of that. Clock that, right?
Especially because, as far as we see, Nicolle does not say, I would love to be a power couple with you.
Right. She's like, he won't be there in my 5-year plan. I will be doing a cookbook and monetizing my Instagram. Also, she's kind of like, my dad takes care of my money. Like, Nicolle, you're like, you're entering your senior years. Like, your dad is managing your money still. Okay. Slight red flag there for me. Okay, but he's her accountant. But your dad is telling you, like, you need more income. Like, she's kind of saying, like, I'm financially unstable and I'm looking to mitigate that in the future
By way of influencing.
by way of influencing. Like, if I'm Mel, all the alarm bells are going off that I'm a meal ticket.
I think he was done after this
Yeah.
conversation.
And then as they leave, she asks for a little kiss for the camera. Mel,
Girl.
Nicolle, just kiss him. Like, what do you
Just
mean?
say, give me a kiss. You don't need to say for the camera.
Why are you
You're
saying for
mic'd.
the cameras?
You're mic'd.
Plus, he can hear you. He can hear you.
She's not dating Mel. She's dating America. America can also
America-
hear you.
We can all hear you. Like, you don't need to say that. Like, you don't need to be like, don't
Honestly.
worry, it's just for the cameras. You can just say, I want to kiss you. Can I
This
kiss you?
performance
Can I
is-
have a little kiss?
It is so iconic because she's just constantly acknowledging that she's on a show.
Right.
I've never seen anything like it.
This is something I have 100% never seen before, is someone in a moment like this when it'll be perfectly fine to just ask for a kiss or go for a kiss, to be like, the cameras need a kiss. Let's do a kiss for the cameras, please. And then he kisses her a couple times and she's like, that's a lot. Like, stop. Like,
She's like, we did the kiss for the cameras. I don't need a kiss. I didn't say Nicolle needed a kiss. I said the
Nicolle
cameras needed a
didn't-
kiss.
Nicolle didn't want a kiss to begin with, please. Nicole's had enough now. The cameras have eaten, and Nicolle has certainly eaten more than she ever wanted to. So let's stop. Nicole's
This
on a
really,
diet.
she is. I do not find this woman likable, but I do find her performance to be iconic.
It's extremely compelling TV to me because it's like to understand the
Like, what is
psychology
going
of this.
on?
And I mean, it tracks also with like what's been going on her social media since last week when she made a lot of enemies in Bachelor Nation by saying that the women of season 1 of Golden Bachelor weren't very good
Oh
looking.
my God. I think we have to pull up some of these
Okay.
posts.
So she's been posting a lot. But the best combination of posts, I think, was a few days ago when she posted first an I'm not sorry post in a sweater that says not sorry and with a caption
Very
that's like,
Melania.
if being honest and speaking your truth means you're a villain, okay then. If being authentic and telling it like you see it means you're a villain, fine. Yada yada. If being decisive, confident, knowing what you want means you're a villain, sorry, not sorry. Like that is this post, right? That's 3 days ago at the time of taping. 2 days ago. So, about something I said recently that didn't exactly sparkle with the kindness and grace I usually aim for. In a moment of thoughtlessness, and let's be real, life inside the Bachelor Mansion is like summer camp meets emotional boot camp. I made a comment comparing the season 2 cast to season 1. It was flippant and not my proudest moment. I didn't mean any harm, but I totally get that it came off as callous and dismissive toward the incredible women who started it all. And for that, I'm truly sorry.
She is
What are
sorry.
you doing?
Okay. I also want to note that then someone commented on this post, writing, I think you are right in your opinion, and apologies aren't necessary. This season, the women are more beautiful in appearance. That's an obvious observation. And anyone who feels you need to apologize for making an obvious statement and feels you aren't being loving or kind is inauthentic and not standing in their integrity. Okay. And she responded, I really appreciate you taking the time to write that. Thank you so much.
Like,
No,
okay,
girl, you said you're sorry. And
But
then you're
she
like, oh my
also
God,
said
thank
she-
you for recognizing that I am objectively hotter and also that I'm standing in my integrity, unlike the rest of these idiots.
but she's also said that she's not sorry. Like, it's sort of like she knows we can all see all of the posts, right? Like you can't narrowcast one to the people who support you to be like, yeah, I'm not sorry. I'm unapologetically me. And then narrowcast another to people who are pissed being like, I'm so sorry for what I said. We can all see both of them. Like she's just posting in response to every reaction, thereby creating a completely chaotic response.
Which feels honestly deeply on brand.
Yeah, there is like a slight lack of awareness of the media ecosystem
slight.
here. Or maybe she's playing 4-dimensional chess. But this moment where she asked him for a little kiss for the cameras, I was like, it just doesn't fit with the fact that she then will say like, oh, I feel so confident that I'm going to home. Like, you know that he could hear you say that. Why would you think that he would want to be with someone who's talked about her 5-year plan in terms not of being in love, not of having a partner to have adventures with, not in terms of being a power couple, but in terms of her stabilizing her finances through influencing, and then asking him for a kiss for the cameras and then being like, stop, that's too much. And she thinks that he's going to take that package and say like, I think she's the best bet for me. Like, what's going on here?
I don't think she's particularly living in reality. Like, not a coherent reality.
I'm at a loss. I've never seen someone do something like this before. So that's Nicolle. After this, Mel is suspicious. Carol is last, and he's feeling good about this one. He's like, our relationship is expanding. That's why she got the group date rose last week. Maybe this is her time to like really open up with me. And obviously the best way to do that is by having an activity where they can't speak or even like probably even hear their own thoughts, because Shaman Danny is clearing their chakras by placing crystals on their bodies and then loudly shaking and drumming instruments over them while breathing heavily and like urging them, go back to the last time you felt safe and secure, or the last time you felt fear. What does the little child inside you need? Give that to them. I'm like, this seems very stressful and overwhelming.
She's doing full inner child work with these two.
Yeah,
she's like,
Carol's like,
hug your small child.
and Carol's
Hold
like,
her.
Carol's like, I just need to talk to Mel, and instead I'm lying under these stones, like having like things rattled over my head. And I can't say a word. I just have to like hold on to his hand and gut it out until I can say something to him. And Mel is feeling great. Like, he has no idea that she's feeling these complex feelings. He's like, I feel more connected to Carol than ever. But afterwards, they talk, and he asks her about her hometown, and he seems excited to go right into the, like, "I'm so excited to, like, meet your family and go to your hometown, like, tell me all about it." And she's like, "You'd meet my daughters and my son-in-law and my dad, but enough, like, no, 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 we're not talking about that right now, whatever. Like, I need to get something off my chest." And it's a kind of weird moment because he's, like, so intent on his train of questions that he seems it's kind of hard for her to get him to stop so that she can
He's
bring
like,
up her
I'm
own
the
thing.
interviewer here.
He's like, "No, no, where are you gonna be in 5 years? What? You have something to say to me? Okay." Like, he seems kind of tense and even perhaps annoyed that she has her own thing to say.
But she tells him that she's very interested in him, but she feels they haven't had a lot of conversation. Correct. She's like, I didn't get the one-on-one, and I just don't think that you have that connection with me. And she says, I don't know if I can continue on this journey with you. This is hard because I really care about you. I do. And Mel is like, yep, sure, seems fine. I
Yeah,
respect it.
you have to
Be
be
true
true
to
to yourself.
yourself.
Yeah.
2 thumbs up. Be on your way.
Yeah. This is not a man who is like, "I really saw a future with you. Please stick it out." He's like, "Okay, yeah, cool." He seemed a little annoyed, I think, that he sensed that she was slipping away, and he was like, "I don't want her to self-eliminate right now. This is annoying. This isn't the plan." But once she says it, he's like, "Okay,
Go with God.
sure."
Go with the black SUV.
He's like, "I'm sad to see Carol go." And I'm like, "You do not seem to be feeling anything right now."
Yeah, I think the disinterest is quite mutual between these two, to be honest.
Yeah. They part on good terms. She gets in an SUV and drives away. And this is when we see Cheryl standing at the end of the dirt road, like looking like flabbergasted, like arms akimbo. We remember this from the teaser. It seemed like something dramatic was going to happen. It's just a self-elimination on a date. And Cheryl like saw it happening. Because of course, when that happens, they don't for drama, they don't really like let the women go back and be like, "Hey guys, I'm leaving." They just kind of whisk them away like
They
they've been
disappear
kidnapped.
them.
Yeah. And uh it does that she like runs back to the other woman. She's like, "A black SUV pulled up and took Carol."
No,
Like she's
yeah, it
been
really, she really makes it sound like a kidnapping.
yeah, like she's been taken with a capital T. In the SUV, Carol says she's sad. He's a great catch. He just wasn't her catch. But now she's hopeful that she'll find love. She says it's going to be okay. She seems fine.
She's fine.
She definitely something clicked in where she's like, it's hard to date. And I was like, I'm finally meeting a guy who checks a lot of boxes. But she's like, I don't need this guy.
She's like,
This
I'm not
is-
interested
no.
in Mel. I
Yeah.
can barely have a cohesive conversation with him. I think we're good here.
And with that, it's time for Cindy's one-on-one. And we see her pulling on cowboy boots and tousling her hair. She wants to be ready to share with Mel and let down her walls. She says, people come out of a divorce so bitter, and I've worked so hard not to have that. Ladies, it's okay to be bitter.
Yeah, it's fine. You're allowed to be affected by your past. That doesn't mean you're bad.
Like you're also allowed to try to avoid that, but like let yourself feel things. Like it sounds like her ex kind of fucked her over. You can be a little bitter.
Yeah, you can be a little bitter as a treat.
But I think she and Mel, this is something that they share. Like I think that her
Yeah, they're
desire
like,
to kind
put
of
your
not
head
dwell
down
in
and
that.
move along.
Yeah, maybe that's part of why they feel so like in sync with each other. So as she walks up to Mel, he's like, "That's so Texas right there," because she's wearing cowboy boots and like shorts and a blousey like button down top and the full hair. Obviously, he's like fascinated. He's like, "Look at those cowboy boots."
She is wearing these cowboy boots to hike to the top of Griffith Park.
Yeah, kind of an unusual choice for a hike to me, but apparently if you live in Texas, it's the same as hiking boots to wear cowboy boots.
Also, you know what? It's for the look.
Yeah. Also, you know what? Maybe they tipped her off because it turns out it is actually a horseback riding date. Because they've barely started hiking when they encounter these saddled up horses, and he tells her that he has ridden before about 50, 60 years ago. So if you're doing the math, yeah, it was when he was a tiny child. And in the moment, he's like, we don't ride too many horses in Detroit. Mel, you've lived in LA for how long now? Like, what do you mean? Like, many opportunities for you to ride a horse since you grew up in Detroit. He's like, I've been told I've done it one time when I was 3 or 4 on a pony connected to a carousel ride. Like, was this even a real pony? Does he mean
No,
that
it
he went on a
really,
carousel?
yes, it really sounds like he went on a merry-go-round one time.
Yeah, so I don't know about Mel's bona fides here, but he does have one qualification. I think we have a clip.
And whoa, Moose, hang on, big boy. I don't show fear. I played in the NFL. I mean, fear's not part of the vocabulary. Slow down, Moose, 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 Moose. So the horse today, he's not gonna smell any fear. Not from me. Smell any fear? Are you crazy?
Mel's really loosening up and showing some personality here. I love that when you just listen to the audio clip, it sounds like he's just like randomly like interjecting little like whoa, 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 whoa his comments. Obviously, it's intercut with footage of him trying to control his horse, which he has no idea how to do.
I like to see Mel humbled.
Yeah, but he doesn't show fear. Like the NFL is like a bastion of like old school, traditional, hardened masculinity. Like men are not
And brain
afraid,
injury.
and those are not unrelated. And Mel is not afraid. It wouldn't be manly and football playery to ever be afraid of anything, including a gigantic animal that you don't know how to control that has very hard metal covered feet. You can't be afraid of that because that's for girls, to be honest.
But Cindy is into it. She's like, wow, Coach Mel is really coming out. He's like, come on, Moose. Come on.
He's
let's
coaching
go.
his horse.
Let's go.
One would think that the experienced trail riding horse would be the coach in this situation.
Right. I was like, well, Cindy, I don't think Mel is equipped to coach.
But isn't
in
it
this
just like
situation.
a man to be like, I'm the coach of the being here that knows what they're doing. I'm in charge. I don't know what's going on, but I am in charge. And he's feeling great. Cindy makes him feel relaxed, and you can tell they look very well matched too. They are wearing the same clothes. They're both wearing like pale blue button downs and light bottoms, and she feels like it's like a really good sign that they're like aligned. They ride up to the observatory and then they sit for like an almost comically well-staged picnic out front. Like, I think because partly it's like this very manicured lawn in front of the observatory and then the observatory behind them, and then you just plonk this like very self-contained little picnic setup. It looks like they're sitting in like the set for a Williams Sonoma catalog shoot or something for like the picnic issue. You know, it's just like this one little blanket with this like elaborate setup and picnic baskets on it, and they're just like awkwardly reclining in the middle.
It's perfect. But Cindy is ready to open up to Mel. She tells him that her past, cheerleading, valedictorian, looks all picture perfect, but there have been hard times.
Mm-hmm.
She says she's been divorced for 7 years, and she got married because her parents split up. She says her dad was an awful person, which sounds really rough. And she just really wanted like a family-oriented man so that her kids wouldn't have a terrible dad. And that's what she prioritized in that partner. She says she got pregnant and then says that she calls it getting promoted.
Yeah, this was like a weird little throwaway moment.
What?
Sometimes people will say like, "Oh, I got promoted to mom" or whatever, sort of like being like, but like
I've never
it's-
heard that.
Right. It's not like super common, but like it's just like kind of a weird way to kind of throw it in there. It's like, what do you mean you call it promoted? You called being pregnant being promoted? Like what?
I got promoted to being nauseous for 3 straight months.
Yeah, pregnancy, say what you will about it, it is not a promotion. So yeah, that's not how I would look at it. And she's like, then I stayed home for 20 years. Then I found out the marriage wasn't what I thought. And I
was
went
like,
back
say
and
more,
forth.
Cindy. What?
I mean,
I assume infidelity, perhaps.
that pretty much is always some sort of like reference to infidelity. So presumably it's that. But did he have another family? Like, was he having a long-term affair? Like, had he been cheating on her with different people for years? Was he, like, sending nudes on date? Like, we don't know.
We have
Like,
no
she doesn't
idea.
wanna share the details of what that means. It just wasn't what she thought. And she went back and forth about whether to stay or go.
She says for like 3 years.
Yeah, that sounds really hard.
Yeah. And she tells Mel that it was miserable.
Yeah. Well, he's like, "That's a serious thing to hold." And she's like, "Yes, it was." But she had to get through it, and Mel's like,
Exactly. You get
"Yes,
it.
now we're on solid ground." And she says, "Since that, it's been hard to let people get close because when you lean on someone and they're suddenly gone, it knocks you off. So why do it again?" And Mel agrees. And he's sort of is like, "Yeah, like you kind of think, well, I can do it on my own. I'm strong. I don't need anyone." This is, like, actually maybe the most that I have felt like he is opening up in one of these conversations. Like, he's taking these baby steps. With Peg, we saw him, like, offering more. This feels more like he is actually taking this moment to have a back and forth exchange about the emotional experience of divorce and how it has
Yay,
affected him.
Mel,
I'm
you
like,
did
"You're
it.
doing it."
But no, honestly, I feel like Cindy is the one that he seems to have the most like equal rapport with.
Right. Like, you could take this date and show it completely out of context, and I would be like, "This could be anyone in the pecking order of a season of The Bachelor." But with Mel, it really stands out. Cindy tells Mel that she's been determined to let this experience go in this process. She's like, "In this life, I don't want to stumble or skip into love or even ride horseback into it. I want to fall in love." This is an incredible entry into like the Bachelor lexicon
So
of
good.
love action terms, love metaphors.
You don't stumble, you don't skip, you fall.
You don't ride horseback into love. People might want to ride horseback into love. That's a
But
thing
not
people do,
me.
but not me. She tells him she's shocked to feel how she feels. You know, they're both logical people and it's been a surprise, but her feelings are real. And he gives his trademark likewise. And then he asks her about her hometown. She says that he'd meet her 3 daughters, and she hasn't introduced them to many people, but she's confident they will like him. And when he was announced, one of them actually told her, "Mom, they picked Mel for you." I can't imagine ever he just still feels like such a generic block of man to
I
me
know.
after all this
Maybe
time.
that's really what Cindy wants.
Yeah. Cindy tells him that he's so much more than can be written on paper. And he's like, "Really? Thank you." Like, he seems like he's deeply moved by this. He doesn't respond in kind, but he's really taking it in. And she's like, "You're so kind and articulate." And he says, "Even with my potty mouth?"
I'm sorry, I don't want to hear a grown man say potty mouth.
Yeah.
It just gives me a little bit of the ick. I'm sorry.
Not Cindy. She's like, "Yes, even with the potty mouth." And they kiss. We also we don't see that presumably because why would they don't want to include that.
I hope
But
we get
I'm
some
like, "What do you mean
bloopers
his
during
potty
Women
mouth?"
Tell All that's just like a
Yeah.
mashup of bleeps.
Yeah. And also I was like, the thing about Mel is that he is this interesting combination, interesting as a specimen in a way where I'm like, he does actually seem like he is relatively smart and well read,
Yeah.
and he has a broader vocabulary than a lot of leads we've seen. And yet he somehow doesn't come off as articulate because he's just doesn't say very much to these
Well,
women.
that's the problem is that he says almost nothing. And when he does say something, it often sounds like he is uncomfortable and delivering a little line that he has to get through.
Right.
And maybe that's just that he's really uncomfortable on camera, really uncomfortable in these settings. But it is frustrating because you're right. Everything we learn about him, like, oh, he's had all these interesting experiences. He likes to read. He likes to cook. He, has lived this really interesting life. We get
Yeah.
nothing. We get nada from this man.
Every now and then in the moment, they will get him to say something like about the women that uses some interesting vocabulary words. And that's like about the extent that we see of it. So after this, Mel whips out a gift for her. He He named a star for her. He went up there and he plucked that
He did
star out of the
it.
sky for her. He has the frame certificate to prove that there is now a star named Cindy. And I have to imagine there are already many, many, many stars named Cindy because obviously anyone can buy a star. How many stars are there? I'm like, at some point, will you run out of stars?
I don't think so.
Fair enough. In the moment, she says she's over the moon crazy about Mel Owens. The theme of this date is now astronomy. She's like, I'm falling fast. I feel like the stars are aligning. He's the sun, the moon, and the stars for me, all wrapped up into one.
So poetic.
I think she's getting carried away with the astronomy metaphor because, like, I don't actually think that he is the sun, the moon, and the stars for her at this
No,
point.
she's just going for it.
Yeah.
She's like, I started with like a nice line about horseback riding.
She's just getting like too into the poetic license here. And in the moment, Mel says that the day was everything he wished for and more tenfold. This is one of those I can't believe it moments, he says. And they go up to the observatory and look through the telescope. And unfortunately, no one takes the opportunity to say, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Oh no, what? I'm looking at you, not at the stars. And I meant every word.
Let Claire write The Bachelor.
I'm pausing everything. I'm coming and I'm like, Mel, tell her you've never seen anything so beautiful. But then when she looks over at you, you're not looking through the telescope at all. And you're looking at her. They make out on the roof. And in their matching outfits, they look sort of like a scene in some sort of ad. Or like maybe they're
Tracks.
having an engagement shoot. Like they do look very matchy. And the chemistry is there. Like I feel like, and you can disagree with me or not, but like to me, this is the only romantic feeling connection that he has at this point.
I agree. He has great chemistry with Peg, but it feels a little more friendly. You know, we'll see how that develops. With Cindy, it feels more romantic to me.
Right. It feels more like he's like emotionally, he's not just like having a lot of fun and like lively. He's like really feeling that emotional like excitement that makes him want to be like more intimate with her.
Exactly.
I don't know. A lot of the relationships still feel kind of like not even friendship. It's more
Well,
like
we
contractual
haven't met these
obligation.
people. We don't know these people. They're all strangers to us, strangers to each other. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like there are a couple relationships where I'm like, it feels like he's really enjoying this as a friend. There are also relationships where I'm like, this just feels like he's contractually obligated to be here. And then with Cindy, I'm like, I could see them dating for a couple months at least.
on that note, we're going to take a quick break. And when we get back, the rest of the episode.
And we're back. And it's time for decision day. And I'm sorry, we normally at this point are like, have gone well over an hour in our commentary. There's nothing in this episode.
So much filler, and yet we've still been talking for an hour.
Yeah.
Mel is stressed about choosing the final three. He's prayed on it, and he has to have a little chat with Jesse because I think they're like, Jesse, we got to call you in. Make Mel say something.
Yeah.
Just coax him to say something about each of the women. And Mel admits he's anxious.
Shocker.
Jesse is doing like a little interview with Mel, and meanwhile, the women are getting video calls from their families, and it's very sweet. Cindy chats with her daughter, Emily. She tells Emily that Mel is everything she's been hoping for. And in the moment, she says she sees forever with Mel. And she says, like, I wanted to fall, but what if Mel isn't there to catch me?
Yeah.
What if?
These women are in a very heightened emotional state. Like
That is what
there are a
happens
lot
in the
of
Bachelor
tears.
bubble.
Yeah. And I think as we may remember from the last Golden season, it felt even a little more heightened than at this point in The Bachelor, the
Yeah.
OG Bachelor. Cheryl sees her son and his family, and he jokes about practicing a toast for her wedding. And she's like, yeah, start practicing. Meanwhile, Mel says Cheryl is someone he really adores, which
Yikes.
is what you say about a friend or someone that you recently broke up with, which is about to be the case. Debbie sees her sister and tells her that she, quote, more than likes Mel. And she's like so excited to bring him home. Mel tells Jesse that Debbie is in it for real. And it was like, she really wants me to come to hometowns. And he says, she is special. She's never been married. Okay. But there's not a right or a wrong time to find love.
I thought it was so funny that he put that in there. He's like, well, there's an obvious mark against her, which is that she hasn't been married. But when you think about it, there's not a wrong time to find love. Mel, this is irrelevant.
Like, what?
He's like, I am so amazing. I like her despite the fact she's never been married. And she's probably a freak because she's never been married.
Well, but she's a special woman who's never been married. There's something special about this particular spinster that kind of sets her apart. She's one of the ones who just hasn't found the right or wrong time to find love.
Right. Yes, of course.
And maybe it's now. Peg is looking bomb, I have to say. She's in like a flowered mini dress with like a side train or like drapery.
It's fun. This was like a very fun dress.
I loved it. And she is chatting with her daughter, who's like, I'm proud to call you my mom. Jesse asks if Mel can keep up with Peg, and Mel says he has different gears and he's looking for something out of his comfort zone. Nicolle has a call with her friend who's like, is he hot? And Nicolle is like, he is super hot. Yeah, he's super hot and smart. Mel tells Jesse that there is a lot of attraction with Nicolle, but he wanted to know more about what she does, and he never got that answer from her. He did. She's an influencer in the plant-based recipe space. What does he mean?
He's like, no, your real job. What's your real job?
I feel like there are so many ways that he could describe what went wrong in that conversation. And I was really thrown that he's like, she never told me what she does. That's all she talked about. She's like, let me tell you about my career goals. I'm going to grow my Instagram account until I can get a book deal.
Mel is not good at articulating most things, to be honest.
The emotional truths are difficult sometimes, I think, for him to really nail down. But this was an interesting lead up to this rose ceremony to me. Usually we don't see people getting to talk to their family at all until hometowns. And it seemed like this was a very intentional choice to kind of heighten the pain of the rose ceremony by giving them a chance.
Nothing.
And but like it felt a little mean. Like, it felt like a chance for them to talk to their family and get them excited. First of all, it like loosens people up emotionally to finally reconnect with their family who they've been missing. The tears come easier. They start like connecting what they're doing now with their life in the outside world, and it feels more real. And then they say like, I can't wait to bring Mel home to you. An hour later, it's over. This felt actually kind of cruel to me to do it at this moment.
It felt to me specifically like a trap for Cheryl.
Yeah.
Like Nicole's talking to her friend, being like, he's hot. Cheryl's telling her son, like, start practicing your wedding toast.
Yeah. No, and like everyone except Nicolle seems to be in a spot where they're like really seeing Mel as their husband, and they're going to be like devastated if it doesn't happen, especially like Cindy, Cheryl, and Debbie. And we know Peg is like an easy go-through for him because she's super fun and easy. And then you're left with, obviously, one of these three women is going to be devastated. So Cheryl weeps in the moment as we move into the rose ceremony and says it'll break her heart not to get a rose. But she does feel confident. And she's like, once I get that rose, I'm going to hold on to it for dear life.
Oh, Cheryl.
Meanwhile, Nicolle believes that due to manifestation, if she thinks she's going to get the rose, she probably will. This explains actually so much about why she is the way she is. Like, I genuinely think that when she goes around being like, I want to be more of an influencer, she's like, by saying that to people, I am manifesting. If I
she's putting it out into the world, 100%.
Right. If I tell Mel that we have chemistry, we will have chemistry. If I tell my new friends that I'm going to be more of an influencer, I will be more of an influencer. Sometimes it doesn't have the desired effect because people don't want to hear that.
Yeah, but you got to cast a wide net when it comes to manifestation.
I'm also like, manifestation is such a funny thing to me because like if everyone just manifests, like no one can, like there isn't enough to go around. Like there aren't enough roses for all of them. If they're all manifesting, they're still not all going to get roses. Like the mechanics of it just don't work.
But luckily, not everyone's manifesting.
Well, apparently they were this time. Yes, it doesn't work for Nicolle. So it's time for the rose ceremony. Mel greets the women and thanks them for going on this unique and surreal journey with him. Hey, he was recently reading about Picasso. So,
Surrealism, baby.
yeah, he's been thinking about it. He tells
I
them
did
that,
appreciate that word choice.
me too. I think his reading is paying off. He tells them that he doesn't take the decision to meet their families lightly, and he respects all of them. Roses go to Cindy, obviously, Peg, and Debbie. Nicolle looks shocked and kind of irritated. Meanwhile, Cheryl is clearly devastated but tries to put on a supportive
I
face
know.
and like congratulate Debbie. And they all embrace. And Nicole's like, I love you, girls. And I'm like,
No, you don't.
no, you don't.
No, you don't.
They're just like NPCs to you. Like
Yeah.
they're non-manifesting beings who are cluttering up your space.
She does actively does not love these women. I'm also going to say I noted that almost none of them were liking her posts. So
I mean, first of all, it seems like ruffled a lot of feathers in the house. But like the behavior even sense, I'm like, I don't want to be aligned with this.
Yeah, no,
right?
please
Like this
exclude
is
me from this
toxic
narrative.
to my brand. Mel walks Cheryl out first, as is her due. And in the moment, he says there's heartache because she means a lot to him. He tells her that he wishes her the best luck, and she says there are 3 women left who are amazing, so she wishes him the best too. He puts her in the SUV, or as I wrote in the notes, on the SUV. He puts her in the SUV, and she puts her hand like under his chin to bring him in for one last kiss.
Oh.
In the SUV, she says her heart is broken. It feels empty. To go home without him hurts, and she starts to weep. But she's like, my family loves me, and I can't wait to go see them.
And to me, this was a good potential Golden Bachelorette exit.
Yeah.
In
And
contrast to what comes next.
Cheryl is playing this pitch perfectly. Like she's so sweet, supportive, but you can see her pain. It shines through. You know, she feels like someone whose like feelings are very easily accessed.
Yeah.
She
Which,
does.
after
Yeah.
Mel, it would be welcome.
That's part of what makes for a good lead is to be able to kind of like feel what they're feeling and to like quickly empathize with them in that way. And she has that quality, and she's very, I think, very likable, but she would also be able to play off of the like, I'm a motocross rider. Like, you know, she has kind of like an interesting profile in that way. I think she'd be a good candidate. I don't know.
I agree.
Mel walks Nicolle out next, and this is funny in comparison to Cheryl because they don't even sit. He's just kind of like hustling her toward the SUV,
He's
and
like,
as
yeah,
they walk,
you're hot. Yeah, you're hot. I'm hot. We thought each other was hot.
literally, he's like hustling her along. And he's like, there was an attraction, obviously, like that's there, but like, I'm sorry. And Nicolle is just grinning and is like, it's okay. Like she seems totally fine, and I believe that she is totally fine. She
We
like
have
puts
a clip.
Oh my God.
Obviously, I have a huge attraction
Yes,
to you, right?
I know that.
I felt it, I feel it. But I'm sorry,
It's okay.
you know, it's always been there.
When it doesn't work out with the one you pick, because it probably won't, you call me. Okay? Okay, I mean that.
Girl,
I mean that.
have some self-respect.
She's like, I love all of you. I love all of you. I hope that it definitely crashes and burns with the woman you're going to pick in there. So just call me.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so fake. I'm sorry. Like,
Nicolle.
But like-
Nicolle.
but also like stand up, you know, like you're begging him to call you after the person he picks first, like for some reason they break up. Like,
I don't even think she
Come
wants
on.
that.
I
I
don't
think
even
she's just
think she
like,
wants
this is a
that.
good little line.
is it? Like, it's not a good look for her. Like, it makes
She
it
does not
seem
care about it
it's
being a
both
good look.
rude to the other women that she, like, the sort of accepted cliche is the one that Cheryl did. You have 3 amazing women here. Good luck. If you don't think the women are amazing, you can say
I hope you
something
find
like,
what you're looking for.
I hope you find what you're looking for. Or you have like 2 amazing women there. Choose wisely, a little warning. She's literally just like, call me when it doesn't work out, okay? Like, but I have to hand it to her. It's not in the accepted array of likable responses
It's
at this
bold.
moment. It's bold. Makes it look like she, doesn't value herself very much, that she would take him after he had worked through all the other women he preferred to her, but okay. That's fine. I also just briefly wanted to say it's funny to me that Mel in both of these exits starts by talking about what he liked about them and then can't bridge to why he's saying goodbye. So he's just like,
sorry.
Yeah, when you came up on your motorcycle, anyway, I'm sorry.
Best of luck.
And he does the same thing with Nicolle. But yeah, so she gets in the limo, and her speech in the limo is honestly just as amazing. Let's play a clip.
I'm a little surprised at this outcome. I really thought it was going to be my name. It should have been. But that's okay, because it's just the universe's way of saying there's something better for me just around the corner. Mel didn't choose me, but maybe you'll choose me for the Golden Bachelorette. You never know.
She literally winks at the camera.
Incredible stuff.
Like, girl, this is not a Golden Bachelorette limo exit. This isn't how it's done.
Yeah, I mean, but again, thank you for your service.
Yes. That this episode would have had nothing going for it without Nicolle.
That's the thing. I do have to hand it to her. She is unfortunately carrying the season on her back, because Mel certainly isn't.
Yeah, someone had to do it. I mean, I'm curious. I feel like in the first season there was less drama, and in its place we got more of the women like being funny and like having fun. And I'm like, are we not seeing that this season because they have a villain to give us instead? Or is this group of women just personality-wise a little bit more subdued in that way? Or is Mel picking the ones who are more subdued in that way? I can't tell because we don't have the material.
Because we had like Amy, and we had who was the dentist who was like would make like snarky comments. Harry, like all of them went home so early.
No, it's true. I do think part of it is just who Mel was picking from this cast. I like the women who are there, but we're not seeing a lot of like fun, entertaining stuff from them. It's just Nicolle being a kind of a brat.
Right. Well, that's what we got. I do like all of the women, but that's the season that we've been given.
Yeah.
So next week, it's hometowns. So we get a little champagne toast with the final 3 ladies and Mel. Debbie says this rose is one step closer to the forever love she's been yearning for. She gets very emotional. She says, "Thank goodness I never gave up on love." I'm very worried for Debbie if she isn't the final one.
And I just feel like it's going to be Cindy at this point. So
Same.
I'm not feeling great. And I think part of the concern to me is that it feels like Debbie needs this so much. Like, she is so like, I've never had this. This is my moment. I'm going to be the best, most perfectest bachelorette here, and I will win, and I will get the love that I've been waiting for. That like, I don't know if we're seeing the kind of like real like ease and intimacy that maybe would be necessary to break through. Like, it's giving competitor on the show. It's not final one, because I think partly because she's so like clenched about it, which makes sense. And I wonder if in a sense Mel is like, well, she's never been married, so like maybe it's okay if I also don't marry her. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a little worried that that's part of his calculus here.
I'm just very concerned. I'm concerned about Debbie's emotional well-being, but we shall see. Next week is hometowns. And now it's time for love to see it, hate to see it. Let's start with hate to see it. Get that bad stuff out of the way.
First, we hate to see Mel continuing to give these women like the bare minimum.
And us. I'm more concerned about him giving us the bare minimum as viewers.
That's fair.
Give me some emotion, Mel. Let me learn something about you. Every time we learn like a little fun fact, it's a delight. Please, please. Also hated to see another cultural appropriation spirituality date. This one was a true fucking hodgepodge.
Yeah.
Guys, gotta find another way in.
Yeah, I know. There are so many dates that we could be doing right now. Also hate to see Mel's rose ceremony tie. We didn't discuss it, but
I'm sorry. I was appalled. This was a hate crime against fashion. What in the 80s office wear was the pattern of little green orbs? What is going on?
Yeah, it's like a green satin tie, kind of narrow. But the cut of his suit and shirt did not invite a narrow tie, you know? The suit was also kind of like a big, boxy black suit that didn't look that well fitted. And then this narrow satin green tie with orbs.
I'm going to say, I think Gary's style was so much better.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing here. He's a good-looking man. There's got to be a way for you to figure this out.
And maybe this is just his personal style because they do get to choose certain things. But
he probably did pick the tie.
Definitely, but I think as a
very,
stylist, you need to not give him this option.
But it's very former pro athlete fashion. It's if you watch
it looks like he's about to
commentary
go...
shows, all of the former cornerbacks and stuff are there with their terrible ties.
Well, exactly. He looks like he's about to go on ESPN and do some commentary, not like he's choosing his wife.
Yes, Mel, you need a completely different tie selection for wife choosing than you're going on ESPN to give Monday Night Football commentary tie selection. I hate to see just how little was going on in this episode. I don't know what
snooze.
That teaser about a dramatic exit, and it's literally just the most common kind of non-rose ceremony exit, which is someone being like, I'm out. I thought someone was going to get spirited away due to a crisis.
And I thought there was going to be a moment where Mel's like, no, don't go. No.
Right. He didn't give a fuck.
Now it's time for Love to See It. I personally love to see Carol saving herself from the possibility of a life of stilted half conversation with Mel. Good for you, Carol.
We love it.
That's an empowered woman.
I love to see a villain on the season. Nicolle is bringing a kind of unrepentant, no object permanence, no awareness kind of villainy to this season that is fresh and kooky and
groundbreaking in a way.
Honestly, it is entertaining. Whenever she speaks, I'm like, here we fucking go. That's what I want.
That energy will be missed, Nicolle.
It will.
And finally, love to see some actual romantic energy and connection with Cindy. I'm, interested to see where this connection goes. I think they both seem into it.
Yeah, I totally could see them dating.
Hanging out
for a time.
Some time.
Yeah. And now it's time for our love, happiness, and fun rating out of 10 champagne toasts.
So I feel like we got a little bit of love a la that Cindy connection. The happiness and fun was at a real low for me.
Yeah, this was not a happy or fun episode. Yeah, and we're starting to see the women talk about love. We are starting to see Mel opening up to that connection with Cindy a little bit. But the fun rating is so it's in the
low.
basement.
low.
So I'm going to say maybe 5. 4.5.
4.5. Yeah, we're landed on a 4.
Leaning on that love and a little bit of happiness rating.
Let's go up from here, Mel. You can do it.
It's not too late to have a 10 out of 10.
And on that note, that is it for this episode of Love to See It with Emma and Claire.
Love to See It is a presentation of Odyssey. The show is produced by us, Claire Fallon, and Emma Gray. Our production assistant is Tatiana Kanice-Smith. This episode was edited by John Bahar. Our theme music is by Tamar Habib, and our art is by Aaron Nestor.
If you like our show, remember to follow us, rate us 5 stars, leave a review, and of course, spread the word to all of your friends about Love to See It.
If you want to get in touch, you can email us at claireandemmapod@gmail.com.
You can also find us on TikTok at Love to See It Pod and on Instagram at Claire and Emma Pod. And you can find our newsletter Rich Text on Substack at claireandemma.substack.com. I'm also on Blue Sky at Emma Gray and on Instagram at Emma Lady Rose.
And I'm at Claire E. Fallon. Special thanks to the team at Odyssey, Eric Donnelly, Kate Rose, Moira Curran, Melissa Wester, and Hillary Shook.
We'll be back soon.
Can you keep